Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny First Impressions. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr., and joining me is Christmas after Valentine's Day weekend, Joey Noel.
Hello.
Joey, how are you doing?
Good. This is my first time being on the show. Totally didn't know that there was like a whole little intro thing.
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
This is real
this is something I put together myself because
All by
I
yourself.
was lucky to be the one to like start off the first impressions, and so I get to set the tone.
You can
and
do whatever you want.
what I say is intros.
I don't
Intros.
think you were the deciding factor on that one, Bless.
No?
I think we had an intro prepped for this one before.
No, I wrote this by myself.
He wrote all the
Yeah.
music.
Well, not the music. I didn't write the music.
I'm talking about the actual intro.
Oh, you're talking about the intro. I thought.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about the music intro, or are you talking about like the script? Like,
But
Both.
both.
this is a show. This is going on the Gamescast feed. Of course, this is Kind of Funny First Impressions, where we take a look at the new games we're playing and give you our first thoughts and feelings. You can access it live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, except right now we're not live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames because of embargoes. This is going live. Well, I guess this is live when you see it.
Yes.
And so you can get this specific episode on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or on podcast services around the globe on the Gamescast feed.
See.
Today, we're playing. Well, we're not playing. We're actually watching something we played a while ago. Persona 5 Royal for the PS4. Yeah. So me and you, Joey, we went to LA.
Had a fun little trip.
Had a great trip.
Some travel snafus. But
Very
we've talked
smooth
about
trip.
that before.
Nothing wrong happened. It was a great time. We went.
Everybody
and
knew their flights.
Went to Hollywood.
Went to the exact right airports.
Went to the exact right terminals and everything. But yeah, we went to LA, went to a preview event, and we played some Persona 5 Royal.
We did. I was very excited for the opportunity to do this. It's been, I want to say, like almost 2 years since I finished Persona. So it's been.
Sounds about right.
It's been a while since I've jumped back into it.
Yeah,
So
same for me.
the first little bit was like what are the controls? What am I doing? How does this work?
Yeah, so like the way they had it set up where there are like 4 different saves where we could jump in, and so they had one towards, I guess, the middle of the Kamoshida dungeon, they had one
Yeah.
toward the end, and then they had one out in the world, and they had another one. And so we were allowed to like pick and choose, like, okay, where do we want to start off? And yeah, I also started off in Kamoshida's dungeon, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, because it's been 2 or 3 years since I've actually played this game, because I beat it when it first came out. And so I have my pre-recorded gameplay. I edited it down to the more interesting bits, because I got to capture about 45 minutes, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is stuff that we've already seen, because for people who aren't initiated, what's the difference between Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal?
So Persona 5 Royal has an additional semester that somehow is in the middle of the game, from what I recall. Right?
It's because after Christmas,
There's
you
that time jump,
yeah, you
right?
kind of do a bunch of jumps. Like you get to important dates, but there's like
Yeah.
a whole gap in between Christmas and then the end of the school year where you leave.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I think it'll be interesting to see a lot of different things with that. I never played Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
So, and you have, correct?
I played Golden. I've not played original Persona
Okay.
4, so I'm not sure all the differences between those
Got
two.
it.
But this is essentially a similar thing where it is like this is the expanded version of Persona 5 with
Yeah. You get
more
another
story
party
content.
member
Yeah, there's a new
that's
character.
added. She looks dope.
Yeah, and she's gonna be in like the second half
Yeah.
of this gameplay, and I really like her character.
Yeah, her. I mean, I don't know about you, but I had like minimal interaction. I had like one
Yeah.
conversation with her.
I
but
had like
her,
one scene
all
with
of
her,
the
yeah.
like stills and like character art that they've released for her is really cool.
Yeah. So
and
this right
she's-
here, sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh,
this
no,
right
you're
here
fine.
is an introduction to the new mechanics, or new mechanic in the dungeon, which is the whatchamacallit?
Grappling hook?
The grappling hook, yeah. Which then allows you to get to new areas and find new secrets.
Yeah.
And so there's like the first, I'm assuming this is the first instance of it happening in the game where you get to use it. And so I hooked to that thing, takes me over there. It's like a contextual thing. I walk up to to wherever I get the prompt and I do it. But, and I'll show you later on the gameplay, there are moments where you can like discover the grappling hook
Yeah.
moments, which I think adds a level of like, okay, cool, like I can discover things in the
Yeah.
dungeons, which is nice.
This is funny because I didn't end up doing any of this. I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. We started playing, and I like jumped immediately back into like, oh, we're playing Persona, and I'm gonna fight all these like mini bosses on the hallways and stuff like that. And I'm like, what am I here to do again?
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard not to just get back into the groove of playing Persona.
Yeah, that was my thing too. Is I was like, all right, how do I heal my members? How do I
Right?
like? All right, I want to go through all this in one go. And I was like, wait a second, this isn't even my save. Like, why
I know.
do I care
I don't
so
have
much?
my like healing items from
Yeah.
the doctor.
So this is the thing that you can discover now. These are hidden through the dungeons. I'm not sure they explain what it is, but it's a will seed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't see any of
Morgana
this.
just said it. A will seed.
Yeah. This is a result. I call it a will seed. But yeah, you're using your grappling hook to find things like this.
It's just like a discoverability thing on your map, right? Do you use like your sense thing?
Yes, and all that comes up.
Perfect.
This is gonna explain in a second. It may not be as prized as a treasure, but it's still quite the rare find. Oh, actually, no. I think what this does is it gives you more SP.
Oh, perfect.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah, because that was my problem with doing the first 2 like save points that they gave us, was that I had just run out of SP by the time I got to like the things that I actually needed it for.
So yeah, they give you the choice. Well, they don't really give you the choice. They do the thing where they give you 2 options to say the same thing.
Yeah.
So you take it, and then I believe it just gives you more SP.
Dun dun dun.
Red Lust Seed.
Do you think you're gonna play through all of this again?
That's like the big question for me because up until now, I've said yes.
Okay.
I'm down to replay Persona 5, all 120 plus hours now. But with how busy this year is, it's starting to become more and more like, oh, we'll see. And playing this, I think playing this has been a turning point for me because up until now, I've been like, okay, yeah, like I'm down to do it. Playing it again, I'm like, okay, it is a lot of the same game, which has me at a conflicted place because Persona 4 Golden did it, and people love Persona 4 Golden, and like these games have a precedent of re-releasing the whole game with expanded content. Their locations within the palace, palace ruler's cognition, blah, blah, blah. Items called will seeds will appear. There are 3 will seeds in each palace, and you'll recover a small amount of SP. So there you go.
Well, that's cool.
And so you can find those now. But I found that while exploring this palace, it felt very samey outside of these bits of like, oh, cool, they've added like a new room or like the grappling hook stuff, and that stuff is a bit cool, and I think in some ways it'll help you get through the palaces quicker because I found one area actually here where I was able to find a place where I can grapple hook up to, and it seemed like it allowed me to then skip a
stars
point.
are like the designation that it's like a grappling point.
Yeah. Yes.
That is correct. I didn't notice that, but that makes sense because I did grapple hook to where those stars were. But yeah, like I'm still trying to figure out because I like some of the story stuff too.
Yeah.
That's like the thing for me is like the dungeon stuff. I'm like, okay, like this stuff is cool. The story stuff with Kasumi so far, I really like her character and I'm sold on her. And so I don't know. What about you?
I'm a little bit torn too. I do feel like this demo was also a turning point for me. I love Persona 5. I think it's a great game. But from what I saw, and granted, like this is a short 45-minute, and I even feel like we played closer to probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Demo for a 100+ hour game.
To interrupt you, right? Like my hand right here is like glowing, and I didn't know what was happening. So
Does that mean you can grapple?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that meant because I was trying to figure out, I was like, where is it glowing? And then I ended up using my sense.
And then you could find.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the buttons because it's been so long.
Right.
But
I know. That's the hardest thing with doing a demo for a game like this.
So I used my sense and I was like, oh snap, okay, what's this? And I'm pretty sure the hand means that there's a grapple hook area near you, and then boom, I found that, and then I did some more searching. And
it looks like there's another grapple hook.
Yeah, there's one like up there that I looked at and I was like, oh snap. And so I do like the fact that then
that's
gives you
way cooler mechanic than I had thought it was.
Yes.
Just
and it gives you more reason to use your sense abilities, which I feel
like
I were
never
underused.
used.
Yeah, like I never really used that in Persona 5 originally. Like a little bit, but never like it didn't feel significant. Like never felt like I had to use it at any point.
Because I feel like you could see most of the threats that were around.
Yeah.
But like it was supposed to alert you to.
Yeah. I should also say I had no sound during my capture. Like my demo had sound. For some reason, capture messed up. And so that's why I've dubbed music over it, so you might not have noticed.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, and so like there you go.
I'm really digging this new mechanic because I think for a lot of people who do want to go back and replay, this grappling thing that seems like it's gonna get you through some things faster, like will help with some of the pacing, especially earlier on in the game. And like a lot of this entire first palace, which takes like 10 hours to get through, is the entire tutorial essentially of the game. And so like I think I do think they added the grappling hook partly to help you skip through certain parts. Right.
Yeah.
Because
so
it seemed like I skipped through like a whole few rooms there when I grappled hooked up. And so
it's Cafe Daddy.
Yeah. So I transitioned to the open world stuff, or not open world, but overworld, I guess, stuff, they've added a new area.
Correct.
Called Ichijo. It'll come up in a second.
Kichijoji.
Kichidoji. Kichijoji. And so I'm gonna travel there in a second. But I didn't spend as much time as I wanted to in the world.
Yeah.
Because I started off in the dungeons thinking that that's where I was gonna find the new stuff. I should have started off in the world. Because when I transitioned to the world, that's where I was like, okay, here we go. Here's the new content that seems like it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah, I agree. I spent way too much just playing Persona in this. Getting caught up in like kind of that thing rather than looking at the newer content, which is
Kichijoji.
There was also another save point. Did you put this in there? The Kamoshida boss battle has some like additional content.
Did it? Okay, so I did that.
But it's been so long since I played that like I couldn't tell you by playing through it what was new about it.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I went to that save during the demo and I was like, I can't figure out where the new stuff is, and so I was just like, you know what? I'm running out of time. I'm just gonna get into the open world. So this is me running around Kichidoji. You said?
Yeah.
Kichidoji and kind of looking at what's around, which I don't know if there was much stuff in the demo for me to access. Like the more you play Persona, the more kind of like things
it's
you kind
always
of unlock in the
just
world.
fun to have a new area to look around and all these new shops and like what that means for new challenges for skill points and stuff like that too.
And so I ran around really quickly so you can kind of see like what the area looks like, and then I stopped by this one building where you can play darts and billiards.
Ooh,
but you can't actually play billiards, right?
You can't actually play billiards, which was a thing that was a bummer, because you can play darts, and that was the thing that they stressed during the demo. They're like, oh, you can play darts, and there's actual dart mechanics, but they give you the choice here, and it said let's play darts or let's play billiards, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play billiards. If you're saying I could play billiards, I'm gonna play billiards. And you can't actually, like, there's no mini game for billiards, but it does.
It's essentially like just when you read on the train, right? It's just like
it's
thing you do.
It's like a social thing.
It's the thing you do with your confidants.
Yeah.
And so that helps you increase your relationship in your skill points.
It's like a passive activity.
Exactly. And so they have like the cutscene that shows you like, okay, yeah, here are you and your friends, and like it's more additional content, as far as like conversational stuff, which is fun. But I was a bit bummed that you could play darts, and I did play darts later on in the darts video game. Actually, pretty fun.
Oh.
But I'll talk about that later.
Is it because I didn't play? I just like kind of explored around, and then I played through a little bit further so I could because I wanted to try and have more conversations with the new party member whose name I can never remember.
Kasumi.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I got a trophy.
Oh, look at you! A trophy you're gonna have to get all over again.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see it in a little bit, but darts plays kind of like the batting cage. Like
I don't think I ever played the batting cage game.
What? Oh, really?
No.
Oh, it was so fun.
So this is Kasumi here.
Oh.
She's so cute.
She is amazing.
She's so cute.
So what's her backstory again? Like, how are they introducing her to did you guys get any sense of?
We didn't get any of that.
We didn't really
in here.
get when she was first introduced, but by the time so did you get the phone conversation with them where they seem to be talking about somebody spying on them or something? Or was that just like...
I don't think I got that.
Because they had one of the phone, like the text conversations where they're talking about someone. I was like, are they talking about Kasumi, or was this like a story beat that I missed?
I think that's Makoto, because Makoto is trying to figure out what the fuck they're up to.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was confused at first, and I was like, this seems familiar, but I can't remember if this was like a thing or a new thing. But like, Kasumi's whole thing is she's like an honor student.
Yeah, and like, doesn't she transfer here like the same time you do as well? Like,
yeah,
she's
that
also
was from the first trailer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, here
you're just like,
she needs to get home, and it was raining, and like, what am I gonna do? can't let her get wet in the rain, and so I busted out the umbrella, because the homie Morgana packed an umbrella for me.
Always having your back on that one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Morgana. We didn't get any opportunity to look into the new
the Thieves' Den.
Well, I looked at the Thieves' Den a little bit. I can talk about that, but the new Confidant, who's like a school counselor.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
We didn't get a chance to see anything from that. But
that's a bummer because he looks real hot.
I know. So Persona, just the series of inappropriate relationships.
Oh yeah.
Students, teachers, people in power. But I'm kind of bummed because I did wanted to see like what his kind of vibe
Yeah, like
is.
what he helps you with, like what to level up in and stuff like that.
Exactly. And like what his perk is, because like the teacher gives you like extra time to do stuff, but what would he do for you?
Well, here the NPCs, like the other characters, are kind of making fun of her, and they're like, "Oh, she's so smart. Oh, she's like a special snowflake.
This.
And she's nice about it. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You shouldn't need to deal with a misunderstanding like that." She seems great.
Yeah,
she seems great, Barrett. There might be a Makoto replacement here.
Ooh.
No.
See, that's so interesting because
Nah, man.
I wasn't like hugely in love with any of the girls. Like,
Not even Makoto?
I think they're all like relatively fine.
Oh, how dare you?
The one that I liked most was the shoji player.
Hifumi?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
She's
she
great.
wasn't. What she's supposed to be like a full blown party member, but then.
And,
replaced
that's
her.
like another interesting choice too, is that like she was originally supposed to be a party member, and then like we have this whole expanded version of Persona 5, and then we don't even get like that added to it. Instead, it's someone else.
And like it's probably because I like leveled her up, but like I feel like I had a way better like time with that than I did with like ever getting to know Haru.
See, that was my thing, is I didn't even level Hifumi all the way up, even though I wanted to, but at a certain point I was like, I don't want to waste time. I want to make sure I get all my core members leveled up. And even with that, I was like, I liked Hifumi way better than Haru.
I feel like a lot of us liked a lot of other people over Haru, but I think that's also just like Haru's the last party member that you get, and you get her like 80 to 90 hours into the game,
and at that point, you already have your like party figured
like
out.
and you're invested in all these other characters
They
that you
also
spent
don't make her like that like interesting, I feel like, because in Persona 4, like, who's the last person? Wasn't it Rise?
I've never played Persona 4.
I want to say it was Rise.
Who's like, I feel like a
Or
lot of
maybe it
people's
was Naoto.
favorite character.
Yeah, like Rise and Naoto, and like a lot of the later Confidant or social links you get are in your party are like the best characters.
All right, it's time to play darts, Bliss.
Yeah, so this is what I went back to the place because I was like, all right, well, there's no billiards minigame, and I'm gonna play a minigame in this demo.
I'm gonna do something.
And so I went and I played darts, and I could choose my teammate, who I chose, however you want to pronounce it. And darts is interesting because I learned very quickly I don't know the rules to darts. Apparently, you're not just supposed to aim at the bullseye every time.
Really?
So
Yeah, I know.
darts is kind of like pool in the sense that like you could play it you can play a bunch of different games with the same board and pieces. So it just depends on
what rule set you're going with.
Yeah, because there's one where you need to get like the closest number of points to something, so you're trying to like hit
and I think
specific
that was the version we're playing.
Hononestly, I think
so it's all motion controls.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Where you
I feel
press-
like I'll never play that.
You press I forget what button but you press a button, and it essentially brings up like a sphere, and then like there's a dot that's bouncing in the sphere, and then you have to hit the dot, and then that'll just determine where the thing lands.
I feel like this was probably a little like they actually made this a mini game over pool, because I think Darts Live 3 might be like, I think that looks like a partnership with some company, so they were probably like, oh, like let's flesh out a mini
look
game.
at
for
you.
this.
Yeah, dude, I was getting
wow,
it in
dude.
until I realized I was playing wrong. Well, I guess I didn't get a bullseye there, but yeah, I believe. Actually, I don't even see the score. Oh yeah, on the bottom left, like the score 232. So every time I hit the board, the score goes down, and I believe I'm supposed to hit it to 0, but I'm still not positive if that's how darts works.
So if you're planning on playing this, make sure to read the tutorial.
Yeah, figure out how darts works, because I was pretty bad. I was pretty upset because I thought I was doing great.
So did you guys get to check out the new palace at all?
No.
And see, I think this might have been because you guys are a little lukewarm about Royal now. I feel like they showed you the wrong things to sell you on Royal as Persona 5 fans, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, a reminder, this is a game where they show you like the little breadcrumbs added, but they didn't show you like the cake. You know?
Yeah, it's a hard game to demo. I'll definitely give them that, because it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I got an hour to demo. How do I find the new stuff? And I spent a lot of time like running around in the old stuff, because like they didn't necessarily like point you. Somebody sneezed very loudly in there.
I think that was
Bless
Andy.
you. But yeah, they didn't necessarily point us in any sort of direction. And so like as I was fighting, like when I was in Kamoshida's dungeon and I was doing the grappling hook stuff, like I was like, all right, like I could see how this would translate to other dungeons, and I could see how this would like add like a certain
Oh my
layer,
gosh.
but it didn't necessarily.
If that means that I don't have to do this dumb mouse puzzle in the.
Oh, you will.
Ooh, yeah.
but if like
definitely will.
I could grappling hook around it, God,
I mean,
You might be able
I
to
could
skip
see
some
that.
of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see how that would add a certain layer. I don't know if that necessarily speaks.
I
To
think,
me.
yeah, I think it's more of just like a, hey, if you're replaying this, like this could speed up some things if you know you don't need to like level up a lot here or grind here in this specific part. You can kind of like move around quickly throughout the palace in this like more expedited way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the story stuff, like the actual like character stuff, well, Kasumi specifically, I was like, I like her character so far, and from what I gather, the ways in which they add stuff to the overworld, like I can never remember the name of this place. Kichi. I always want to say Inki Dojiko because that's freaking Callie
Cali
Plaguey's Twitter. Yeah, and so that's what it
Dang
sounds
it!
like.
Why'd you have to say that? Now that's gonna be stuck in my head. It's
Yeah.
Kichi
Kichijo?
Joji.
Kichi Joji.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, Kichi Joji seems cool, and like the trailer stuff seems cool. Like all that stuff is enough to make me kind of want to replay Persona 5. But the fact that it's still the whole game of Persona 5, like I do wish this is like I do partly wish this is just DLC,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
can just jump into the new stuff. But I understand why they do it like this. Like this is kind of what people want, I imagine.
And it's weird because like Persona 4 Golden, I feel like was an opportunity to bring back a game from the PS2, right? To
Yeah,
give it to a
take it
new
to another
audience
platform.
and like have it be this whole remaster and have it be this big deal. Where this feels like a remaster for a game that came out
2 years ago. Yeah,
3
3
years
years
ago
ago.
at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's
Like
weird.
they could have held this for like PS5 or something, and
Yeah,
maybe
and-
made it a bigger thing, or Switch, but who knows what's going on there.
Yeah,
And I'm just like interested in because there was 4 years between Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden.
oh,
really?
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Persona 4 came out in like 2008.
Yeah.
On the PS2?
Yeah,
That's wild.
it is.
But I'm just so also fascinated about the differences between Persona 5 Royal and Persona 5 Scramble. It's so
Yeah.
interesting that it looks like Scramble is like kind of the more proper story sequel, and this is just an expanded story. But then does that take into account changes that they're making or like additions that they're making with P5R?
Yeah.
And like how all of that kind of is going to shake out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I talked about this last week on PS I Love You, where I was like, yeah, Scramble seems like it's almost more additional content than Royal is. Like if I was a Persona fan and had to choose one between playing Scramble or playing Persona 5 Royal, I might pick Scramble. Honestly.
I think I would too, because I would want. That seems like entirely new content.
Yeah.
And this is like 80 maybe
Yeah,
percent,
like this-
if not more.
This is definitely for two people, right? It's for somebody who hasn't played Persona 5 and wants to jump in.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously play this version because it's gonna
This
have.
seems like the definitive
This
version.
is gonna be the
now.
definitive version. And two, it's for like the hardcore fans that do like want more to chew on, like want to go back and want to be like, oh yeah, like I miss Persona 5, I want a reason to replay it. Okay, cool, this is a reason to replay it. And then also I get like the expanded story stuff. Like it feels like it's for those two people. But if you're somebody who already played Persona 5 and you're like, okay, well, do I like how worth it is it going back and playing Royal? Like I'm not saying it's not gonna be worth it, because I think it's gonna be for some people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, man, it's a long game. Like it's a lot of commitment to go back and replay some of this content.
Yeah, I think my plan is gonna be, because I am gonna replay it. I think I'm gonna put it on like the lowest difficulty level, the one
Oh,
like
yeah.
below easy, so I can kind of just like and probably auto battle through most of the dungeon stuff, just so I don't have to do as much of the grind, but I can still have the benefit of like being able to do the story
And like
stuff that.
re-experiencing the cool moments and then like
Yeah.
leading into the new semester and like the new palace and stuff
Because
like
playing it on easy or on normal difficulty isn't. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna change any of that stuff.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like, man, if I can cut some of those hours down by just kind of powering through all of the stuff that I've already experienced and know, and I understand
Yeah.
that I don't need to like really grind through everything again, then I think that makes it a little bit more enticing to go back and do all of this. But I'm excited. I'm still excited to
Yeah.
play through it and see what all the new content is. I just wish we got to see a little bit more of that.
I'm with you.
I'm excited for all the new additions. This is the end of March. This
March
is coming
31st.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, since everything is being delayed for everything in spring, this actually that was a big relief, because now the only game really close to this that I really care about is Final Fantasy
Doom
VII.
Eternal.
There we go.
Doom
Animal Crossing.
Eternal, I'm gonna beat in like 3 days.
Animal Crossing?
No, I'm not playing Animal Crossing. Don't pretend like you're playing Animal Crossing.
I'm probably not gonna play Animal Crossing.
And so like
Resident Evil
Both of
3.
you.
that's the only like really big like it's Final Fantasy 7 will probably be a little lengthy, but this I'll have a good couple months to chew on this before we get to the Last of Us, the Cyberpunks, the whatnot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm like super ready to go back. I'm excited.
Actually, are you playing Resident Evil 3? Because that comes
No,
out
fuck
3
no.
days after this. Really? No?
I'm not a Resident Evil guy. We've had
You
this
can be.
conversation
You're
like
really
5
scary
times.
stuff,
Probably.
right?
Yeah, I'm not a huge scary Game Boy, and so like I'm excited to have an excuse to go back. The like updated like graphics and stuff. Like there's actually going to be PS4 Pro support, which was like a big frustration of mine when the game originally came out. That it wasn't like it was made for the PS4 and the PS3, but not really the Pro. And so I'm excited for all these little tweaks to just give an excuse to get back into that world. I love that world so much, so I'm pumped for it.
Joe Noel, any final thoughts?
I'm stressed out about having to balance this and Animal Crossing because they come out like 11 days. Within
Yeah.
11 days, I'm
That's my
trying
thing
to check
too.
the dates.
Like I'm stressed about having to balance this and like 4 other games.
Yeah, March 20th for Animal Crossing, and then
We gotta find a name for that block, for that late March going into the early April block.
just
Because I feel like a few years
Hell
ago,
Week.
it was like, I guess we could call it Hell Week. I think it was called Boner Jam a few years ago. I think that was a What's Good Games. What's Good Games, I think was them. I think it was them.
Is that like a mashup of things?
Because
Or
that was like the day where it was like Assassin's Creed Origins and Mario Odyssey and like one other game.
Yeah, I
Wolfenstein 2.
but it's not like a mashup of like the titles.
No. It wasn't like Assassin's Odyssey. Actually, there is an Assassin's Creed Odyssey now. that I think about
Yeah.
it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this kind of funny first impressions of Persona 5 Royal. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button. Is that a thing that we do? Smash that like button?
I guess so if you want to. We'll
Yeah.
be back here with more Persona 5 Royal review kind of thing, I imagine.
Yeah. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.